Alright, this is John Code with OKRaw.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. And today, this is a different kind of episode for a lot of you guys, and one for me too. So today I'm here at the Supply Side West trade show. Everybody's actually leaving because they just closed. Here's my badge. Hey, I'm official. But the Supply Side West, it's a trade show only open to the trade, and what it is, it's actually for the companies that make the supplements or that produce foods, and they're trying to find and source ingredients to go in to add nutrients to foods or to get a certain texture or something like that, right? And so like a lot of the different nutrients that may end up in supplements you guys are buying are sourced here at this very show. And so this is not like a health food trade show like the Expo West and East I go to. Check the link down below for videos on that where they actually have products you could go down to your local health food store and buy. This one, they don't have anything like that. It's for formulators, right? And so I want to share with you guys my opinions on going to this event for the first time, because I've never been to one of these aside from when it's like co-sponsored at Expo West. And it's also a lot smaller. Like this place is totally huge. I got here at like 1 and it's like 5:30 and I barely got to walk the whole show, and I stopped at a bunch of booths. But here's the thing, the whole supplement industry is based on the fact that your diet is deficient and you need to supplement to get additional nutrients if you have a deficient diet. Now, the standard American diet, that's quite deficient in a lot of the phytonutrients, so I could see a lot of the products in here could help people that are eating junk food. Probably like most of the people here, they're gonna go out to one of these, restaurants here on the Strip, Las Vegas Strip, and just eat dinner. And that's not the best food in my opinion for people to be eating. So then they may need to take some kind of supplements because they're not eating artichokes and getting whatever enzymes from the artichokes, which there's a company inside there that basically extracts out enzymes from artichokes and then puts them in a bottle or in a capsule for you guys. I want to encourage you guys to eat artichokes like often, right? So here's the thing. I want you guys to eat a nutrient replete diet instead of a nutrient deficient diet. And to do this, basically, here's a trick. The trick is eat more fruits and vegetables. You guys could turn off this video now if you guys don't like my long videos, because we're going to kind of get deep. But that's basically the message of this episode. Eat more fruits and vegetables so that you guys are not deficient. And more than just eating fruits and vegetables, eat a wide variety of fruits and vegetables. If one thing that I'm going to do differently after I come into this trade show today, walking the floor, is like, I'm thinking, man, John, you're missing out on a lot of nutrients from a lot of these different foods that you don't normally consume in your diet. So it's going to cause me to expand the range of foods, because every different food has different phytonutrients, phytochemicals, and ingredients that can help you in some way or another. And so there's a lot of companies in there doing a lot of cool stuff. Let's see, I picked up like brochures for like most of the ones I really liked, but one I want to go into that I didn't get a brochure for was like a company out of Germany, and they're basically selling oleosaccharides, which are basically like an indigestible fiber that you guys can take, and they say that it's like has good probiotics in there or something like that, or it's human. It's based from human source, so it's like basically human milk extracted like fiber, non-digestible fiber, but along with that fiber comes a beneficial probiotics in there, which is really cool. So you guys might be, John, that's weird, man, like drinking like milk to get probiotics, like human milk, like, well, how many of you guys eat dairy products, right? Like, I think that's even more weird. I'd much rather suck on and get some real milk myself to get all those nutrients. And they've done a lot of research with like creating immunity and all this kind of stuff, and that's why it's so important, if you guys have children, to breastfeed your children, give them nature's best food, human milk. All right, so anyways, let's go ahead and reach into my bag here and see what kind of goodies I got today. Basically like lots of paperwork, a couple business cards, and actually a whole bunch of samples, right? So I got like wheatgrass powder samples. Like a lot of the stuff here, it's kind of toxic, man. It's just like some of the ingredients are cooked into just processed foods that are highly processed, right? And here's another thing I want to let you guys know, right? A lot of the ingredients in here, they're coming from a few sources. Number one, they're coming from like a source out in nature. So it could be from a plant or an animal. It could be from like some minerals mined out of the ground. It could be from the ocean. Some companies harvest things out of the ocean to put in our products. So it would take coral. I mean, it could be like a manufactured pharmaceutical or nutraceutical ingredient, like a vitamin B12, or an isolated vitamin D, right? And I want to encourage you guys, from what I've learned over all these years, is I've learned this, right? We want to try to optimally get our nutrients, all the nutrients we need, from the foods we eat, not a nutraceutical. When they start isolating nutrients, they can cause huge problems, right? Isolating folic acid, you know, in some studies have shown to be hugely problematic. Whereas if you guys eat enough kale or other leafy greens or leaves or foliage, you will get folate, right? Which is the natural form of folic acid, which is how our bodies can digest it. So I want you guys to, you know, always first try to get your nutrients from food, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here, because I could find out what foods are giving certain nutrients that cause certain, you know, benefits, health benefits, and then I could just eat those foods without having to have the isolated, extracted, in many cases, highly processed nutrient. That being said, right, you know, that's my goal. But here's the thing, I also respect the fact that some isolated nutrients done in a proper manner, you know, can have huge health benefits for people that may have a severe deficiency or have some kind of condition that they are working with to get better from. That being said, we want to not eat the isolated nutrients. We want to eat the whole foods to get these nutrients in smaller quantities, what nature would naturally provide, and we want to eat a wide variety of foods. So next time you go to the grocery store, you haven't had asparagus or artichokes in a while, pick up that, you know, that vegetable and start eating it. If you don't eat beets that regularly, right, buy some beets. There's nutrients in beets that are amazing. So this is going to be a little bit of a long video. I'm going to go through like the samples and the things and why I picked them up and talk to you guys about them more. I think I guess we'll first start here. Liquid dry. We got some like wheatgrass or barley grass powder, 100% organic. I would encourage you guys to grow barley grass and wheatgrass and to juice them yourself, right? Better than just growing them in a tray. Grow them outdoors in the ground and let the roots go down really deep, right? And juice that so you guys can get those nutrients in you, you know. I grow a lot of stuff. I don't grow everything. One day maybe I'll have a partner that could help me grow more and we will grow barley grass, but until then, I like to have, you know, barley grass powder because it allows me to have some of the nutrients in the barley grass that I wouldn't be eating because I don't grow barley, right? Same thing, here's some chia. Actually, I have grown chia in the past, but the chia seeds, you know, they are really rich in omega-3 fatty acids. Flax has a better balance, but definitely the chia is really good, and this is a special white chia. They say it's special. Let's see. And before I forget, actually, another brochure I didn't pick up was like, they have a whole bunch of vitamin E's in there. So like they're isolated form of vitamin E's, which also in studies, you know, isolated forms of vitamin E's may be problematic. And if you take too much of a certain kind of vitamin E, you may not uptake the other forms because it may block receptor sites or something crazy. So I want you guys to get vitamin E from your food. And one of the best sources I found based on being in there is annatto. Yes, annatto, the commonly used food colorant. You know, they're now extracting like whole food sources of vitamin E from annatto. So I can't wait to move to the tropics one day and actually grow annatto, and I'm gonna be eating all that red, delicious stuff and get messy. If you notice my hands, John, man, your hands, they're like orange. That's because I had some CO2 extracted turmeric powder, which was totally off the hook. Amazing, the bomb, and I got it on my hands. Anyways, yeah, all kinds of different nutrients in here. I mean, this is one on phytoplankton, and this is something I need to research more. I think it can be quite beneficial. And here's a brochure on like basically foods from Peru. So as much as I agree with eating locally and seasonally as much as possible, I also respect the fact that in other climates and other places around the world, they may have, you know, the opportunity to grow things or may have plants and seeds and fruit trees that do not grow where you live. And so I like to include, you know, small amounts of those items, even if they have to be shipped far distances, so that my body and I could get some of these unique phytonutrients that may have amazing health benefits, both discovered and undiscovered. So this company, you know, has maca, yacon, mesquite, goldenberry, lucuma, camu camu, acai berry, all different kinds of stuff. Oh, and then this company, check this out, man. You guys see the picture? Coconut, right? And this is called cocosinin. Coconutsin, freeze-dried form of coconut water, nourishment factor, support hydration and healthy cell growth. And then they have all this information on why their freeze-dried coconut water is so good for you, with like you know, documents and studies and all these kind of things, right? So do you guys really need to buy the like freeze-dried coconut water? Well, hey, freeze-dried coconut water is probably better than nothing, but I would encourage you guys to buy the coconut water. I mean, I love to drink coconut water. It's one of my favorite beverage on the entire earth. I will drink coconut water before I even drink regular water if I have it available or can get it, you know, for my hydration, as well as a lot of other nutrients, including these things called plant cytokines. And I picked up this so I could learn more about the benefits of coconut water that they've determined, but you don't necessarily need to get it freeze-dried. Eat all these foods I'm mentioning to you guys fresh, guys. All right. Next, though, this was next Mycobiotics. So this is a gourmet mushroom company that they grow over 40 different varieties of mushrooms. They have 20 in stock, and I'm gonna maybe work with them to get some kind of like mushroom powder with like 20 to 40 different mushrooms in it, so I could basically just use that to eat myself, because mushrooms are so important. And I think people on a raw foods diet, if they're trying to exclude mushrooms, which granted you probably should, because they should be heat processed to some extent to break down some of the toxins in there, that would be a good thing. And here, this one kind of makes me laugh, and I kind of have fun showing you guys this, like as everybody's walking out. This is actually called Cuvutis whole fruit cucumber extract. So, you know, they've done studies that say, you know, whatever exercise can lead to temporary muscle and joint discomfort. Patented and clinically studied, Cuvutis is a new and exciting sports nutrition ingredient shown to enhance exercise performance. Cuvutis supports natural recovery through the reduction of TFN-A and other damaging cytokines. But basically it's whole fruit cucumber extract. So what? Do we need this whole fruit cucumber extract? Well, maybe most athletes that are eating burgers and fries that don't ever eat cucumbers in their life, it'd probably be good for them to get this whole food cucumber extract. But for me, I'm just gonna go ahead and juice and drink my cucumbers, eat my cucumbers, dip the cucumbers in hummus, however you get to eat them, right? Eat cucumbers and eat a variety of fresh fruits and vegetables, because they all have these crazy properties. Here's what I learned about here today. This is cool. I love to eat mulberries, but I learned that mulberry leaf extract, right? There's nutrients in the extract that can do different things. What does it say? It helps promote blood glucose level, right? So yeah, get a couple mulberry leaves and eat them once in a while. Like, I wouldn't eat a ton of them, you know, I don't know if I'd go juicing them, but you know, put a couple in your salad, right? There's nutrients in a lot of foods. Now, many foods may be toxic, so don't eat any food unless you fully research and understand that if it is safe to eat or not, right? Oh, this company was cool. It's called InSeed. And the InSeed, what they do is they make functional probiotics. So aside from, you know, the nutrients that come from plants, probiotics or bacteria support our microbiome, which is huge. Like, I haven't really covered this too much, but it's like super huge. I take probiotics in many different forms. Actually, what I'm gonna eat after this is probably a salad that I brought that has my fresh probiotics that I cultured and made in my own kitchen through my sauerkraut. But basically, probiotics are crazy. There's all different kinds, and they've researched these now. Many of them can be stable, but there's probiotics to help your happiness level, right? So you feel better. Here's one for helping metabolism and weight management. The one for pure happiness is for mental health. This is for pure excellent for GI health, bone health, immunomodulation, so increasing your immune system, immunomodulation and anti-allergy, so your, you know, the microbiome can positively affect your, you know, sensitivity to allergies. And if you got the right microbes, you may be less prone to getting allergic reactions. Here's ones for intimate care. So actually I have this one, and am I taking it? Is for women's reproductive health, like vaginal health and stuff. I don't got a vagina, trust me. But I'm like, what the heck, man? If it's good for women, it's probably good for guys too. I got some, you know, parts down there that are not exactly the same, but similar. So, you know, I really want to encourage you guys to like take some probiotics, especially the functional probiotics that research is now emerging from, right? And even more so than just the functional probiotics, I think there's, you know, when you're eating fruits and vegetables, you're just getting probiotics, all kinds. And so we want to try to not sterilize our food unless absolutely necessary, you know. Oh, and here's the cucumber extract. Basically just, you know, whole cucumber, like extract, concentrated. Let's see, here's another one, some capsule things. What does this say? Pepzin GI, unique ingredient for digestive health. So I mean, this is probably maybe some kind of enzymes. And I would encourage you guys, actually, I do take some enzymes usually at the end of the evening as a systemic to kind of help clean my body out while I'm sleeping. But we can also get enzymes from our food. But I think supplemental enzymes can be beneficial, and especially if you're working with a health condition, I would definitely be taking some enzymes to support that. Here's another one, man. Rosemary. How many of you guys eat rosemary on a regular basis? I have a huge rosemary bush. It probably is the best growing plant in my whole entire garden. It's like literally taking over, and I do not use it enough. I mean, I might grab some off when I'm making my salad dressing or salad and take a couple sprigs and put it in stuff, but I don't need it in any large quantity. I mean, here's a whole brochure on benefits of the rosemary extract. So do we need rosemary extract? Well, maybe if you have a chronic health condition that this is warranted, that might be good, but just start eating some rosemary so you guys get some rosemary, whatever the essential oils and the other nutrients that are in there, the different plant chemicals, because literally that's what plants are. Plants are basically chemical factories. And so we want to try to include more varieties, right? Here's a brochure on polycyclenol is a mixture of alcohols isolated and refined from sugar cane. So basically now they're basically extracting some kind of certain nutrient from sugar cane, which what does it do here? It helps with the person's lower levels of LDL or bad cholesterol. And so that's basically through some nutrient in sugarcane. So should we have this nutrient in sugarcane, or should, number one, we should eat the diet that will allow us to have the good levels of cholesterols in our body, which is basically, I'll tell you the truth, don't eat animal products, or massively reduce or eliminate them, as well as trans fats, as well as highly processed foods, right? If you don't eat those, then you won't need to have this sugarcane extract to, control your condition, in my opinion, That being said, I prefer just to drink some sugarcane juice, so I get the nutrients in sugarcane as well as this novel nutrient in small doses so that my body could have healthy cholesterol levels. All right, here's another one. Mediterranean is our inspiration, BioNap, and inside here, basically they have all these different nutrients from the Mediterranean. So here's like one on artichokes, right? And they go over the different nutrients in artichokes and why it's so good, and it's good for liver detoxification. Here's one actually on cactus pads. Some of you guys eat cactus pads. I'm growing cactus pads in my garden. I probably need to eat them more. I mean, I eat a lot of cactus fruits, not the pads. I mean, there's nutrients in grapefruits and limes and citrus fruits, right? But I want you guys to eat the peel if you are able to, like in limes and lemons, you guys can. Grapefruits and oranges, I do not recommend that, but you should be eating that white pith. That's where a lot of the nutrients that they're selling in here are extracted from that white pith, but most people never eat that pith, right? Next here we got, this guy is pretty cool. Let's see, I'll show you guys a fruit. This is a new fruit I never knew about in my entire life. It's this one right here. It's kind of red, and it's called, what is epcalin? Epcalin is an aqueous extract obtained from the cathermith fruit, and that's Thermobilicus danelii beneth, harvested in West Africa. The camith fruit has been used as a sweetener in food and drinks for centuries by the local population. So this is like another non-sweet sweetener. It's not exactly like stevia, but what this is basically a protein, or an amino acid, a sweet amino acid that tastes super sweet without the sugar, supposedly. So I gotta look into this, and one day, hopefully when I have a climate similar to Africa, I wanna be able to grow this tree and eat the fruits fresh, because aside from the sweetness, there's also a nice red, deep pigments in there, whether that's lycopene or something else. We want to get these phytonutrients, and here's an easy way. I picked up this only to remind myself to tell you guys that this is apple cider vinegar and beet lemonade. So basically it says procedure: simply mix apple cider vinegar powder and beetroot powder into a lemonade until fully dissolved. So this is a recipe that, or you could use any recipe, but the reminder is get some beetroot powder, get some beet powder, get some wheatgrass powder, right? Get some kind of food powder that you don't normally eat. If you don't eat moringa or grow it like I do, get some moringa powder and add a little bit of moringa powder into that next, tea, or top it, sprinkle it on a little bit of the salad. Put some beetroot powder in the next batch of muffins if you guys cook muffins. I don't cook muffins and don't encourage you guys to do that. Sprinkle some beetroot powder on your apples, right? We want to get some of these nutrients and wider ranges of nutrients in us as possible to get these health benefits that they've done lots of money and spent a lot of money to research, right? Anyways, this one was interesting. This is actually a sunscreen that actually is a smarter sunscreen, because this blocks the rays that are bad for us, right? But it allows a rays in that'll allow our body to make vitamin D. This is quite chemical, not super natural, but it's kind of cool. But you know, my solution to this is not like this, so I could only get the vitamin D, right? I think the sun rays in its full spectrum may have benefits on us. And I don't want to block some of the rays or others. You know, I want to get them all, but number one, I want to protect my face. I don't need too much sun on my face, but I do need sun on my body so I can make vitamin D. And the other thing is you want to eat high antioxidant rich foods. That's a secret. I'll be talking about one, well, I'll talk about it now. I don't think I'll pick it up a brochure. Anthocyanin. Anthocyanin, that's one thing that also come in here that I learned, like John, I'm kicking myself in the ass because I've known about anthocyanin, but I don't take it on any regular basis. I need to start taking these things on a regular basis to literally put my money where my mouth is. They are so beneficial, but anthocyanin and other antioxidants will give you sun protection from the inside out, right? So you guys don't need to put on sunscreen. You know, my hands are colored like orange turmeric, right? Because they're colored orange turmeric, I'm more protected from the sun because, you know, it's like people with black hair more protected from the sun than people with white hair, right? So protect your guys from the sun, eat lots of phytonutrient, deep, rich, pigmented colored foods, and get a little bit of sun, but not too much, right? All right, so here's the next brochure here. This one's cool, black ginger. So I don't know if you guys can see the picture up there, but this is literally ginger that's black. So I visited this guy in Florida that was growing this. So it's just a variety of ginger. It's actually not even related to ginger supposedly because it doesn't have the same gingerine or something in there. But basically it's super high in the purple carotenoids, and it says clinical data, double-blind, placebo-controlled black ginger for once daily, and it helped people lose visceral fat. So if you guys have visceral fat, hey, black ginger could be helpful. Actually, that's one of the things I want to start growing and eating on some kind of regular basis. Once again, I believe every plant out there has different unique nutrients that other plants don't make that can be beneficial, whether that's for keeping you guys a healthy weight. That being said, you know, the answer to having a healthy weight is not just taking this black ginger extract and eating McDonald's. It's to eat a healthy diet so that you guys don't have the extra weight in the first place, all right? Let's see here. Oh, here's one. This one, I picked up this brochure just to show you, just remind you, and I already knew this. Liphocyte Saccharomyces boulardii. And they show a picture of lychee. And most people might not know why the lychee's on this. Basically, they're advertising a probiotic, which is basically a probiotic yeast. And that's because this Saccharomyces boulardii actually lives on the skin of the lychees, right? And if you eat lychees and you're eating it, you're probably getting some of this boulardii in you. Unfortunately, most people don't get to get lychees with the skin on and peel them and have the whole experience of eating delicious lychees and getting some of that in them. So then, hey, next best is actually getting them then in a capsule form so you guys could get the benefits, right? And they've been having studies on this boulardii showing that people that have like candida, you know, this will help, you know, with candida supposedly according to studies. So, you know, I like to eat lychees and get my natural yeast boulardii in there. Oh, and this one's really cool. This is Algae Tech. So, you know, algae are another thing that I think are super important. I do eat on a more regular basis chlorella and spirulina, and I like to buy fresh spirulina whenever I have the opportunity, and I'll eat even like 4 to 8 ounces in one sitting as one meal. Nothing as bad has happened to me yet. But this company actually makes the anthocyanin product that I talked to you guys about earlier. But aside from the extracted anthocyanin, which is a nutrient of an algae, they will sell you the whole algae. So my goal is to not eat extracted anthocyanin, but to maybe source a whole food, source the whole algae that has the anthocyanin as well as other nutrients in there to get that into meat. And that has been a problem because anthocyanin, as it normally comes, or the algae, is highly reactive to oxygen. So if you have the algae, it gets exposed to the air, it basically oxidizes. And this is the kind of food we want to eat. We want to eat the foods that actually go bad. We don't want foods that are going to be shelf stable for 1,000,000 years, right? We want to eat the food quickly before the nutrients literally dissipate out of the food, especially these phytonutrients. Oh my God, this is another cool booth I ran across. I never knew this before. It's called Parabel, and they make lentine. So lentine, I have to say, lentine is my #1 favorite plant protein in the entire world. And the main reason for this is because it's not an extract. Most plant proteins, and I don't think vegans or anybody needs to be eating plant proteins. The reason why people need plant proteins is because if they're not eating enough plants and not getting enough protein from the plants, especially the leafy greens. And that folds me into why I like this so much. It's actually grown in Florida. You guys can see the ponds right there. And what this is a plant. It's called duckweed. I'm familiar with duckweed. They use it in aquaponics. You know, I've seen it so many places, and I knew that ducks eat it. I knew that humans could eat it, but now this company is taking advantage of that. It grows really easy. They're using a food-grade source of food to grow the duckweed. They then process the duckweed basically by drying it, heating it up, drying it, and then they basically put it into a powder. And this protein, and they had comparisons of this to soy protein, to pea protein. It had more amino acids than all those. It blew them away. And this is a whole food source. In addition to just the amino acids or the protein, it also had the whole spectrum of fiber and vitamins and minerals and other phytonutrients. So yeah, totally amazing. This stuff here. I'm about to research it more, but yeah, I'm about to get on the duckweed bandwagon and grow some myself. Oh, and here, this is kind of like another fun thing. I picked this up, Futureceuticals, because they're selling basically a powdered, juice powder that you could put into water, and then basically you could drink 12 spinach leaves and 5 blueberries in 1 cup. And it's like, this is like the way. I mean, look, man, they got the different ones, and this is how much fruit you'd be eating. Like, if you have their veggie blend, you have 17 kale leaves, half a carrot, and eighth of a beet in 1 serving of their powder, right? In a juice or whatever. Like, why eat their powder when you guys could just juice or eat the foods whole, fresh, blend them up, vacuum blend them yourself, right? So you guys, I like to fill in with powders if I'm not eating the foods. Kale, carrots, beets are something I commonly eat almost on a daily basis. Apple, another one is apples, cranberries, and blueberries. I do eat blueberries regularly, I do eat apples, and I do need to up my cranberry intake. Aside from the holidays, which is now here, you guys could find cranberries, so I encourage you guys to stock up. Can be hard to find cranberries, although I think I did recently buy some freeze-dried cranberries. And of course, they have the green blend, kale leaves, spinach leaves, and broccoli florets. I do eat those on a regular basis, so yeah. Oh, then here, this is another really cool brochure. It's from Draco Natural Products, vegetable phytoconcentrates, right? So if we open this brochure up, look at that on the inside. So basically they have all these cool pictures of the bell pepper and the nutrients in bell peppers, nutrients in broccoli, nutrients in artichoke, spinach, carrots, beets, bitter melons, and actually I'm deficient in bitter melons. I need to go out and buy some bitter melons. I haven't eaten those. I mean, and it's good to come to one of these events to remind myself, because I eat all these other pumpkins. I need to eat more pumpkins actually. But all these other fruits and all these other vegetables on here anyways. Brussels sprouts I eat, I freeze dried them, I juice them. Bitter melon I don't eat so much, and the pumpkin, I need to eat more pumpkin. But yeah, there's different nutrients in every food, so eat as much wide a variety as you guys could possibly source, right, and find, and even grow, right? Here's another one, mushrooms, right? I like these brochures because they're educational. They show all the different kinds of mushrooms and some of the values of what the maitake or shiitake could do. Maitake mushrooms are known as the hen of the woods for its ruffled feather-like appearance. It is an excellent source of D, the B vitamins, choline, niacin, pantothenic acid, thiamine, folate, and riboflavin. It is a good source of potassium and copper. Maitake contains polysaccharides, beta-glucans, and sterols. It helps support normal intestinal comfort, healthy weight management, normal blood sugar levels, immune function, and exercise output. Yeah, so I want you guys to eat, not just I always buy shiitakes, John. I want you guys to always rotate and eat different kinds of mushrooms, or if you're like me, I'm just gonna get a mushroom powder with 20 different kinds. I think right now mine has 14, and I just put that in stuff, so I'm getting lots of different, nutrients from mushrooms. All right, here's another one, super fruits. I love fruits, I eat plenty of fruits. I'll be surprised if there's a fruit inside these pages that I do not already eat. And there we go, that's what it looks like. In here, what do we got in here? We got blue honeysuckle berry. Oh man, they got me. I've had those once, I've tasted them, but I need to eat more of those. Jujube dates, one of my favorites. Black currants, I have black currant powder that I use on a regular basis. Euphoria fruit, which actually they're calling euphoria fruit, they're calling it long on. I would say I get euphoric when I eat them. Passion fruit, I eat passion fruits. Goji berries, I have goji berry powder and goji berries dried. Mangosteen, oh my God. I don't eat enough mangosteen, I will admit that, it's hard to get. Silly fruit, wow, this is a rose hip from the chestnut family. They got me, haven't eaten that one. Yum berry, I've eaten that once or twice. I need to eat more Chinese yum berries, or it's called the Chinese red bayberry. Persimmons, of course I eat. Jackfruit I eat. Sea buckthorn, I do have some powder, although I need to eat it more often, right? once again, eat wide varieties of stuff, guys. All right, here's like the last flyer I have, and then I just have a whole bunch of samples of different things that I'm gonna go over today. This is from Fushan Biotech, San Herb Biosciences. Why did I pick this up now? That's because, I know, in this one, they actually were growing high selenium broccoli. So this is impressive, right? So I mean, aside from like having as wide a spectrum of foods I want you guys to eat as possible, to get all these different novel nutrients, both discovered and undiscovered, that can have amazing health benefits, right? It's not just eating the food, but how the food is grown. The food that you're eating is only good as the soil it's being grown in. And most soils, based on my research, based on what I've seen, are deficient, right? Number one, soils are deficient. They're not having the nutrients, or more importantly, the microbiological activity in there that is needed, or more importantly, fungal activity that's needed to grow high quality food. So you guys could do it yourself if you guys garden or put in a garden and grow your own food. That's why I teach gardening online at Growing Your Greens. You can check me out there to learn all my tips on growing the highest quality food. But the other thing that's really not talked about is when, even if you're buying conventional food, they're putting like a synthetic fertilizer down, which is basically a man-made fertilizer. It's like basically giving you a multivitamin with 5 vitamins, or 16 vitamins, right? There's a lot more nutrients in the world than 16 that what's in a multivitamin. That's why we should be eating a wide range of foods. But when they're growing your food and they're putting in 5 nutrients or 3 nutrients or maybe 16 nutrients, right? You're giving the plant only this many nutrients, when in the world there's like 90 different minerals they could be putting in, and there's countless amounts of different, biology, bacteria and fungi that they could be putting in the soil that all interact, that all help the plant basically create its own immune system, create more phytochemicals and phytonutrients in these plant chemicals that are actually in some of the nutraceutical products that they're processing, so you guys could get those in you. So I mean, that's super huge. So anyway, selenium is something that it can be quite deficient in the soils. And if you're like vegan, raw vegan, or even an omnivorous person, you guys might not be getting enough selenium. I mean, diabetes, they say if you don't have enough selenium, you may be more likely to get diabetes, and it's been correlated or whatever like that. And I want to get not selenium from like a tablet, like a vitamin tablet, because the earth is deficient of selenium. I want to take a supplement, right? We don't absorb metals too well. They need to be properly, have the right charge and the right polarity, and basically be absorbed by plants and then converted into the right charge, and then we eat it, right? So what this company in China is doing now is actually they're basically putting selenium into the soil and growing broccoli in a selenium-rich environment, so that the broccoli basically has high levels of selenium. But selenium is just one of 90 different trace minerals that may be important for human beings. And so I'm glad they're doing this, right, with the selenium, so that people won't be deficient in selenium. But that's if you could get their product, right? Most farmers are probably not adding selenium to the soil. I add trace minerals that include selenium in my soil. Actually, and I'll put a link down below to another video I did where this guy actually makes selenium-rich fertilizers for your soil, which is totally insane, as well as putting other sulfur and other rare trace elements that are not in food today, so you can put in your soil. And all the plants I plant in my garden that are leafy greens or herbs get this supplement, so that my leaves and the food I'm growing in my garden has high levels of these trace minerals that may be deficient in most gardens and in most foods you guys are buying from the store. Zinc's another one, man. It's not really it's not really good in many soils, so a lot of foods are zinc deficient. And if you're growing higher quality food, adding additional zinc to your soils, your plants can have a lot more zinc. And I did an episode on this. I'll put a link down below. Robert Rissingham, cool dude. He came up with all this stuff because his parents had cancer, and his wife or husband or something, and he had to figure out like what was missing. And basically, there's platinum. Platinum was missing, so anyways, that's a long story, but so I have a supplemental platinum grown lettuce that I eat, lettuce that's been grown in high platinum, so now I get like platinum in me, because platinum is an essential nutrient, like what is it, platinum-based chemotherapy, right? That's to get the platinum in you, right? So we want to get some of these nutrients in us, and I mean, I think that's all. I mean, the rest in my bag, I have like just different samples of stuff, like more green powders, and here's one. What's this? I gotta look this up. Polygum cuspum extract. So I want to try to, instead of buying an extract, I want to go grow this polygum. Polygum is a cool family of plants, and so I want to see if I could grow it where I am, and then I could actually just not get an extract, but I could just eat the whole plant, right? that's pretty much this episode for today for you guys. Like, I went over all the stuff I picked up, what I learned here, and in summary, I will sum it up once again, right, real quick. Eat more fruits and vegetables. Eat a wider variety of fruits and vegetables than you guys are normally eating. Try to find new fruits and vegetables and leafy greens and herbs that you don't eat and start including them. Every plant has different chemicals that can, help us in many different ways. Of course, the cannabis plant, one of the ones that I think is highly beneficial, that unfortunately is illegal at present time, that has a whole host of cannabinoids that can be quite beneficial, but just don't take ones that have high THC, or you may have the effect of, the psychoactive effects, which to me is the non-desired effect. If you want to learn how to get that effect or how to avoid it, check the link down below where I got high for 10 hours on raw cannabis leaves. I'm just experimenting on myself and having lots of fun in life. Wide variety of nutrients. And then the other thing is, like, don't be scared of getting some isolated nutrients if you have a health condition and it is warranted, or if you feel it may help you, if it's from a natural source. Also, if it allows you to expand your repertoire of foods. Like, I don't really have a problem drinking this barley grass powder, once I add it to some juice, because I don't normally eat barley grass, right? And it's like, oh, John, it's processed and all this stuff. Like, you know what? Getting it, even if it is processed, I try to find the one that's minimally processed as possible. Freeze dried, low temperature dried, super important. A lot of the drying methods may be quite bad for the food, so I'm glad I now have my own freeze dryer, so I'm freeze drying my own foods and keeping high levels of nutrients in there. And I think the last thing I'll say is that, sometimes, man-made synthetic nutrients may be necessary, right? Vitamin B12, right? Vitamin B12, I like to supplement with vitamin B12. I haven't found a good, reliable, and I'm still looking, one day I'll find one, reliable food source of B12, so I do take a supplement on that. All right, so hope you guys got the message today. Eat more nutrients, eat a wider variety, eat more plants, cut out the meat, cut out all the processed foods, cut out the animal products, cut out the dairy. Some of the products in here are isolated from dairy. Like, there's a lot of whey companies, a lot of like ox bile, a lot of these crazy things. Like, those may be helpful in some situations, but I think if you get on, eating mostly all plants, fruits and vegetables, you're gonna have a much healthier time. And if you guys feel the need to eat those things, eat them in small quantities. And I would encourage you guys, if you guys want to eat milk or animal products, to grow them and raise them, and kill them yourself if you guys need to do that. But I think you are a coward if you guys are buying prepackaged meats, because you guys don't have a connection to your food. And same thing with vegans out there that are eating vegan processed junk foods that have no idea how that's processed. And that's why, one of the reasons why I grow my own food and why you guys have a connection with the food you eat. Many times I get invited to different farms and things and make videos on how the products are made. And I met with some people in here today that I'll be invited to their facilities to show how they make their products and to share with you guys the story. And this is just my journey in health. I'm here, for me, but then at the same time, I save you guys the expense of coming to Vegas and walking the show and finding some of the cool things that could help you guys' health out. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed this episode, want me to do more episodes of trade shows with my summaries, and you liked it, hey, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Also, be sure to share this video with somebody else that you may think be receptive to this message. This is kind of advanced level stuff. Most people might think they're wasting time watching this 30-minute video or whatever, but I think all the information in here was valuable, plus it'll be serve as a good reference for me in the future should I need to know what happened at the supply side West 2018. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss out on my new and upcoming episodes that have come out every 5 to 7 days. You never know where I'll show up or we'll be learning on my YouTube channel. And be sure to click that little bell. YouTube has been unnotifying people, so make sure the bell is clicked so that you get notified when my videos come out, so that you don't miss any new and upcoming information, because nobody else has a YouTube channel like me covering all the crazy stuff that I do, going in depth. And and I just do this for fun, And also, finally, be sure to check my past episodes. Oh my God, my past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. We're 500 episodes at this time. Teach you guys all aspects on how to eat the healthiest fruit and vegetable dominated diet on the entire planet. So with that, my name is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. We'll see you next time. And until then, remember, keeping your fresh fruits and vegetables, they're always the best.